Welcome to another episode of Thailand Truth Talks. You walk the streets of Bangkok every day. The smiles are warm, the food is incredible, the cost of living is unbeatable. But there's a darker side to paradise that nobody talks about, not until it's too late. Right now, somewhere in this city, someone is losing their entire life savings to a sophisticated scam network. And if you're thinking about moving to Thailand, or you're already here, this information could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm going to walk you through the five most devastating scams targeting foreigners in Thailand, starting from the smallest losses and building up to something truly catastrophic. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how these criminals operate, and more importantly, you'll know how to protect yourself. First, let's understand the landscape. Thailand is home to roughly 2 million foreign residents as of 2025. About 30,000 Americans, 50,000 British expats, and 35,000 Australians call this country home. These are primarily retirees, people with fixed incomes, pensions, and modest but stable savings. They're living in Bangkok, Pattaya, Chiang Mai, and the resort islands. What makes Thailand so attractive to scammers isn't just the large expat population. It's the perfect storm of conditions: loose regulations, language barriers that work in criminals' favors, minimal accountability for financial crimes, and a population of older foreigners who often trust too easily. In 2024 alone, Thailand's anti-online scam center recorded approximately 700 scam cases per day. That's not 700 reported cases. That's 700 confirmed cases every single day. The total losses in 2023 through the first half of 2024 exceeded 45 billion Thai baht, roughly 1.3 billion US dollars in just 18 months. But here's what really matters. That's national data. When you narrow it down to scams specifically targeting foreign retirees and long-term expats, the numbers become even more staggering. Let's break down each category, starting from number 5. Before we dive into the 5 categories, you need to understand one terrifying truth. These aren't random con artists with a cooler of cold calls. This is an industrial machine built to harvest trust and has playbooks, departments, and profit targets. Think of it like a startup, except the product is your life savings. First, reconnaissance. Scammers scout online communities, expat Facebook groups, dating apps, retirement forums, compiling profiles. They pick targets who show loneliness, wealth indicators, or a pattern of posting about relocation and visas. Sound invasive? It is. They know your coffee habit, the city you post from, and whether you've been bragging about a pension payout. Second, rapport. Once they've chosen a target, they invest time, days, weeks, sometimes months. They're not in a hurry. They craft a persona tailored to you: the sweet Thai bride, the helpful financial advisor, the friendly landlord, and they make you feel seen. That emotional investment is the product mechanic. When you care, you stop scrutinizing. Third, the infrastructure. These operations have tech teams building slick fake websites and trading dashboards, call centers that spoof foreign phone numbers, and money laundering channels that move funds through shell companies, crypto wallets, and local cash out points. They recruit people to handle the customer service calls when things go wrong, and insiders who can simulate earnings to lure you deeper. Fourth, escalation and psychology. They start small. A tiny favor, An initial success on a fake platform. This lowers your guard. Then pressure tactics ramp up. Deadlines, exclusive invites, only available to trusted members. Scarcity and authority cause even careful people to act impulsively. Finally, exit and cleanup. Once extracted, funds are laundered across borders or converted to hard assets. Victims are ghosted. The machine moves to the next list. Arrests happen, but the profit model makes replacing one busted ring easy. The machinery keeps churning. What you need right now is not just fear, it's a short survival playbook. If anyone asks you to pay now, send crypto, hand over your passport, use Western Union, or bypass your bank's normal processes, stop immediately. Verify with two independent sources. Take screenshots. Record phone numbers. Do a reverse image search on photos. And post your doubts publicly in your expat group. Social exposure is one of the fastest ways to detect fake operations. Scam number 5: tourist and travel fraud. The everyday trap. You're at the beach in Pattaya. The sun is setting. A local approaches you with an offer to rent a jet ski for a few hundred baht. Seems simple, right? Wrong. This is where many expats' problems begin. The jet ski scam works like this: you rent the watercraft, take it out for 20 minutes, and return it. Then the operator claims you damaged it during your ride. Maybe he says the engine won't start properly now. Maybe he claims you hit a rock. The truth doesn't matter. What matters is that he's demanding an immediate insurance payment. Sometimes 5,000 baht, sometimes 20,000. He's suddenly very angry. He's calling what he claims are police. He's threatening to hold your passport. One retiree from Australia described being stranded on a Phuket beach while an operator bullied him into paying thousands in off-the-books fees. When he refused, the operator brought what appeared to be police officers who told him he'd be barred from Thailand entirely unless he settled the bill immediately. The entire situation was fabricated. The jet ski had no real damage. The police were either fake or paid off. But the victim, frightened and isolated on a foreign beach, paid anyway. This is just jet skis. Tuk-tuk drivers routinely charge foreigners 10 times the actual fare. Taxi drivers pretend their meters are broken. Some drivers will take you to random gem shops or timeshare presentations under threat. They'll tell you that bad luck befalls those who refuse. Once you arrive at these locations, you're trapped in a high-pressure sales environment where you're coerced into purchasing worthless merchandise or signing contracts for properties you'll never use. The scale of these scams is smaller individually, but the frequency is staggering. A single tourist might lose 500 to 3,000 US dollars in a travel fraud incident, with hundreds of thousands of tourists passing through Thailand annually, and a significant percentage being retirees or older travelers. These scams collectively add up to tens of millions of dollars lost each year. The US State Department officially warns that taxi and tuk-tuk drivers may attempt to charge excessive fares, and recommends never using your passport as collateral, a rule that's routinely violated by desperate expats being threatened by these operators. Scam number 4: real estate and rental scams. The housing trap. Let's shift our attention to something that affects long-term expats more directly: housing. You're living abroad, maybe transitioning to retirement in Thailand. You've decided you want to move to Chiang Mai or a quieter beach town. You start searching online for rental properties. You find the perfect condo. Stunning views, reasonable price, in a good neighborhood. The landlord is professional, He responds quickly to your messages. He says you can sign the contract remotely and move in once you arrive. He asks for a deposit, usually 3 to 6 months rent paid upfront through a bank transfer. You send $30,000. You book your flights. 2 weeks later, you arrive at the address. Nobody's there. The building manager has never heard of the property being listed. The actual owner, when you finally find him, has no knowledge of any rental agreement. You've been scammed. The money is gone. The landlord has vanished. You now have no apartment and no recourse. This is happening constantly in Thailand. The scammers are using photographs stolen from legitimate real estate websites. They're creating fake landlord profiles on Facebook and rental apps. They're targeting foreign renters specifically because they know these people want to secure housing before arrival. They're not going to visit the property in person. They're transferring money months in advance. The Thai real estate market is notorious for this type of fraud. It's estimated that thousands of foreigners lose between 5,000 and 60,000 US dollars each through rental scams annually. A single victim might be out $50,000, 6 months rent on a nice condo. But multiply that by thousands of victims across the country, and you're looking at tens of millions in aggregate losses. What makes this particularly devastating is the psychological component. A retiree has just spent their life savings on this move. They've committed emotionally and financially. They're now in Thailand without a home. Many don't report the crime because they're embarrassed, or because the amounts seem small to Thai police, or because they genuinely believe there's no recourse. Thai authorities estimate that the true number of rental fraud victims is 3 to 4 times higher than reported cases, meaning the real losses could exceed 100 million US dollars annually across all of Thailand. Scam number 3: romance and marriage scams. Love as a weapon. Now we're entering the realm of emotional devastation mixed with financial ruin. Romance scams targeting lonely retirees in Thailand cost victims an estimated $1 billion annually worldwide, with Thailand being one of the primary hubs for these operations. Here's how it works. You're a retired widower, 65 years old. You're new to Thailand. You're lonely. You join a dating app called ThaiCupid, or you start chatting on Facebook. Within days, an attractive young Thai woman sends you a friend request. She seems interested in you specifically. She starts messaging you. The conversations are flirty, personal, and warm. You feel special. Over weeks and months, she builds emotional intimacy with you. She talks about her difficult life. She shares her dreams. She sends you photos. You video chat, though sometimes the video has technical issues. And she'll just send pictures instead. You're falling for her. You believe you're building a real relationship. Then the crisis hits. Her mother is hospitalized and needs emergency surgery. The bill is $20,000. She doesn't have it. She's begging you to help. She says once her mother recovers, she'll come live with you in America or Australia. This is your chance at real love and companionship in your later years. You wire $20,000. A week later, there's another emergency. Her brother was in a motorcycle accident. 20,000 more. Then a business opportunity. She has a friend who's launching a cryptocurrency investment platform. The returns are incredible. 10% monthly. She's invested $5,000 of her own money and is already seeing returns. She thinks you should invest too. It's a guaranteed way to build wealth for your future together. You wire $50,000. At this point, months have passed. You sent roughly $100,000 to this woman. You've never met her in person, though you've been promising to visit. Every time you mention visiting or meeting your family or discussing marriage seriously, there's another crisis. Or the technical issues with video calls persist. Or she suddenly becomes distant and she says she needs time to think. Then one day, she blocks you on all platforms. The investment platform you sent money to vanishes. The cryptocurrency wallet becomes inaccessible. You try to contact her through her family or friends, except none of those people exist either. The entire relationship was fabricated by a scam operation, likely run by a team of people in Thailand or Cambodia who were cycling through your money and moving on to the next victim. These operations are industrial. They have systems, they have scripts, they have teams of people managing dozens of victims simultaneously. And they're incredibly effective because they exploit the most human vulnerability, loneliness, and the desire for connection. The individual losses in romance scams are staggering. It's not uncommon for victims to lose between $10,000 and $100,000. The retired Australian ex policeman we mentioned earlier, he lost $1.2 million to a romance scam that eventually led to fake cryptocurrency investments. He believed he was helping a friend. He trusted his instincts, and his entire retirement was gone. When you multiply individual losses across thousands of victims, you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars annually flowing out of retirees' bank accounts and into criminal organizations operating from Thailand. This makes romance scams the third most devastating category of fraud targeting expats. Scam number two: retirement visa and immigration scams, bureaucratic nightmares. Most retirees come to Thailand specifically to access the retirement visa program. It's one of the most straightforward ways to stay long term without working. But that visa comes with a steep financial requirement. You need to maintain either 800,000 Thai baht in a Thai bank account, approximately 23,000 US dollars, or prove a monthly income of 65,000 baht. For some retirees on modest pensions, this is a significant barrier. Enter the visa agents. They advertise their services online, in expat Facebook groups, and through word of mouth in retirement communities. They promise a shortcut. They say they can help you get your visa approved without the hassle. They say they've helped hundreds of people. They seem legitimate, professional, and understanding of the process. What they're actually offering is an illegal scheme known as rent the money fraud. Here's exactly how it works. You pay the agent a fee, usually 1,000 to 3,000 US dollars. The agent takes you to a Thai bank and helps you open an account. Then the agent deposits 800,000 baht into that account on your behalf. You take a screenshot or get a bank statement showing that full balance. You submit that to immigration when applying for your retirement visa. Immigration sees the funds and approves your visa. Then, within a day or two of getting that approval, the agent withdraws all 800,000 baht from the account. The money was never really yours. You never actually had it. You paid a fee to borrow money for a few hours so you could create a false document for immigration. This is forgery. This is fraud, and it carries serious consequences. If immigration discovers this, and they often do through routine audits or when retirees come back the following year trying to extend their visas, the consequences are severe. Your visa can be cancelled immediately. You can be deported. You can be blacklisted from Thailand entirely. And you face criminal charges that can result in up to 5 years in jail, plus heavy fines. You've essentially committed document fraud against the Thai government. But here's the insidious part. Most retirees don't understand this is illegal when they enter into the agreement. The agent frames it as a loan. It sounds like a financial service. It doesn't feel like a fraud. It feels like paying for convenience. By the time immigration comes knocking, you've already paid thousands of dollars in fees to the scammer, and now you're facing deportation. In 2024, Thai immigration authorities arrested multiple visa agents operating sophisticated fraud networks. In one case, Thai and New Zealand authorities collaborated to bust two Bangkok visa agents who had defrauded hundreds of foreign workers through document forgery. These weren't small time con artists. They were running organized operations, processing dozens of fraudulent applications monthly. The financial losses here are direct and immediate. Each victim loses anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 US dollars in agent fees. Plus, they lose their visa status and their ability to legally remain in Thailand. Some victims have had to hire international lawyers to fight deportation, costing another $10,000 to $30,000. When you factor in the cost of relocation, the psychological trauma, and the legal battles, some victims have lost over $50,000 in total. But the broader impact is even worse. Across all of Thailand, thousands of retirees attempt visa extensions annually. If even a small percentage fall for these schemes, you're looking at losses exceeding $50 million per year. These are people who thought they were making a smart financial decision to secure their retirement in paradise. Instead, they got caught up in organized fraud and saw their retirement plans collapse. Scam number 1: investment and cryptocurrency scams, the life savings killer. We've now reached a category that makes all the others look trivial. Investment fraud and cryptocurrency scams targeting retirees in Thailand cost victims an estimated $300 million to $1 billion annually. This is where entire life savings disappear. This is where retirement dreams die. The mechanics of these scams are sophisticated and varied, but they all follow the same psychological playbook: establish trust, promise unrealistic returns, and gradually escalate the financial commitment until the victim has transferred everything they have. Let's start with cryptocurrency scams, because they're the most prevalent. You're a retiree in Bangkok. You're connected to Facebook groups for expats and retirees. One day, a post appears from someone you sort of know. Maybe you've chatted in the group before, or maybe it's someone with a completely fabricated profile. They're sharing their success story. They've turned $30,000 into $150,000 in just 3 months through cryptocurrency trading. They've attached screenshots of their trading platform showing incredible gains. They're promoting a crypto trading app that uses advanced AI algorithms to guarantee consistent profits. You express interest. Within an hour, the person messages you privately. They're warm, friendly, and understanding. They say that most people don't understand cryptocurrency yet, but the technology is real, and the profits are guaranteed if you use the right platform and follow their guidance. They invite you to join a private WhatsApp group where traders share daily market analysis and trading signals. The group is active, professional, and seemingly legitimate. Members are posting screenshots of their profits daily. Someone posted they made $12,000 in a single week. Another member shared they'd turned $50,000 into $300,000 in just 2 months. You're intrigued but cautious. You tell them you want to learn more before investing. They send you educational materials about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency markets. Nothing seems obviously fraudulent. Everything looks professional and credible. After a week, they invite you to download the trading app and start with a small deposit. They suggest $5,000 as a starter amount. You download the app. You send $5,000. You watch as your investment shows immediate growth. Within days, your balance has grown to $6,500. You're seeing real profits in real time. You're a believer now. You deposit another $20,000. Again, the platform shows growth. You're making money. This is working. Then the system tells you that to access higher yielding trading strategies, you need to maintain a minimum balance of $100,000. You're already put in $20,000, so why not? You deposit another $75,000. Now you're at $100,000 in the system, and your account is showing $120,000 in gains. On paper, you're up $20,000. In reality, you're out $100,000 that you'll never see again. When you try to withdraw your funds, the app tells you that you need to pay a tax on your profits, let's say 10%. You need to send an additional $12,000 in cryptocurrency to unlock your withdrawal. You hesitate, but you've already committed so much. You send it. Withdrawal still denied. Now there is a platform maintenance fee. Now there is a government regulatory fee. Now there's some other obstacle, and each one requires more money to overcome. Finally, you stop responding. You try to contact the person who originally recruited you. They're no longer answering messages. You try to access the trading platform. It's shut down. You Google the URL and discover that thousands of other people have reported the exact same platform as a scam. You've been fleeced. $130,000. A significant portion of your retirement savings gone. This is happening constantly. The scammers are operating from Thailand, Cambodia, China, and other countries across Southeast Asia. The infrastructure is sophisticated. They create fake profiles, fake trading platforms, fake success stories, and fake communities. They're patient. They're willing to invest weeks or months building trust before making their move. But cryptocurrency is just one flavor of investment fraud. There's also the bond scam, where criminals call unsuspecting retirees in English-speaking countries and pitch fake long-term bond investments with guaranteed returns. In June of 2025, Thai police arrested 13 foreign nationals, 5 Australians, 6 British citizens, 1 Canadian, and 1 South African, who were operating a massive call center in Samut Prakan province. This single operation defrauded over 14,000 Australians through a fake bond investment scheme. The total losses exceeding 1.5 million Australian dollars, approximately 1 million US dollars. And that was just one bust in one location. Think about that. 13 people arrested for operating one call center in one province in Thailand. But how many other call centers are still operating? How many other cryptocurrency scam operations are still running right now? Experts estimate there are dozens of major operations and hundreds of smaller ones scattered across Thailand and Southeast Asia. The losses are devastating on an individual level. The Australian ex-policeman who we mentioned, he lost $1.2 million. He believed he was helping a friend invest in cryptocurrency. His police training and instincts told him to trust this person, but that trust was exploited methodically over months. By the time he realized what was happening, his entire retirement was liquidated. This isn't an isolated case. There are hundreds of similar stories. Retirees who've lost $500,000. Retirees who've lost everything. The scale of losses across all investment fraud is staggering. In 2024, Southeast Asian scam operations collectively took in over 10 billion US dollars from victims worldwide. Thailand is estimated to be responsible for approximately 20% of that total. That's $2 billion annually flowing into criminal organizations operating from Thai territory. To put that in perspective, that's more money than the entire tourism revenue of some Southeast Asian countries. It's industrial-scale theft targeting some of the world's most vulnerable people. What connects all 5 of these scam categories is the exploitation of specific vulnerabilities that retirees and older expats share. Language barriers make it difficult to verify claims or understand complex financial arrangements. Isolation in a foreign country creates emotional vulnerabilities that scammers exploit ruthlessly. Lack of technical sophistication means many retirees can't verify websites, images, or identities online. And perhaps most dangerously, there's often an assumption that if something looks professional or official, it probably is. The scammers understand these vulnerabilities intimately. They've studied them. They've refined their approaches based on what works. They have systems and scripts and playbooks. Some operations employ dozens of people. Some have been running successfully for years. What's crucial to understand is that these aren't victimless crimes where people just lose money and move on. These are life altering catastrophes. A retiree who loses $50,000 to a romance scam doesn't just lose the money, he loses his ability to trust. He loses his confidence. He becomes paranoid. Some victims attempt suicide after realizing they've been defrauded. Some develop severe depression and anxiety. Others spend years trying to recover financially, working jobs they thought they'd retired from. A rental fraud victim doesn't just lose their deposit. They arrive in a foreign country with nowhere to live and no money to recover. They're forced to either return to their home country defeated or scramble to find alternative housing while traumatized. An investment fraud victim loses not just the money they invested, but also their sense of security about their future. Their retirement plan is derailed. They're older. It's harder to rebuild wealth. And they're more vulnerable to making desperate financial decisions. Here's the bottom line. Thailand is beautiful, affordable, and welcoming, but it's also home to sophisticated criminal organizations that specifically target foreign retirees. These aren't street-level thieves or opportunistic con artists. These are organized networks with technology, resources, and expertise. The warning signs are always there. Investment returns that seem too good to be true are definitely too good to be true. Urgent requests for money are always red flags. Inability to verify identities or meet people in person should stop any transaction immediately. Pressure to move quickly, to keep things secret, or to bypass normal channels are all indicators of fraud. The most important rule is this: verify everything independently. Don't rely on the representations of someone trying to convince you of something. Get a second opinion from someone you trust. Contact official authorities directly using phone numbers you find yourself, not numbers provided by the person you're dealing with. Meet people in person before making financial commitments. Never send money to people you've only met online. Thai authorities are increasing enforcement against these operations. Police have dedicated cybercrime units. Embassies are issuing warnings. International agencies are collaborating to track down scammers. But ultimately, your protection comes down to your own vigilance and skepticism. Thailand can be a wonderful place to retire, but it requires eyes wide open and a healthy dose of skepticism about opportunities that seem too perfect. The scammers are counting on you being too trusting, too lonely, or too eager to believe in easy solutions. Don't be their next victim.